We will be demanding $30,000 in alimony.
Lawyers are supposed to be neutral, aren't they? Why are you only on my husband's side?
He's my lawyer is why. This is our chance.
Trouble busters!
So to sum up, you, Miss Lisa, have committed adultery despite having Mr. Thomas here as your husband. And as such, we demand that you pay him $30,000 in alimony as a guilty spouse with no room for negotiations. My name is Thomas, and I'm a nice guy who just got cheated on. There's no way to rebuild our relationship after her betrayal, so I want to hire a lawyer immediately and get a divorce. However,
I want to reduce the alimony, and I suppose you see to that, Mr. Morrison.
Excuse me?
Listen to me, I can't pay $30,000, so I want you to negotiate with Thomas and tell him that the alimony has to be reduced.
And why do I have to do something like that, miss?
Huh? Lawyers are supposed to be neutral, aren't they? Why are you only on my husband's side?
What is this bitch talking about? Does it truly seem that way?
It does. Isn't that a problem for you? I'll file a complaint. I will.
Where the hell would you file one? Hey, that's a problem. I'll do my best. I would like to gather my thoughts for a bit, so may I ask permission to continue our discussion at a later date?
Please, by all means, you show up and what? You only side with this bastard? If you didn't want to be switched for someone younger and better, you better stay neutral, huh?
No, Mr. Morrison here is... Thomas, sir! Silencio, por favor.
So, you finally showed some neutrality. Stay neutral from the beginning tomorrow, all right? Otherwise, we won't be able to have a satisfying negotiation.
Mr. Morrison, what are you thinking? Naivete overload. Pardon? It seems like she thinks lawyers are the same as court judges, so let's keep misleading her down that line. Is that legal, sir? There is no obligation of correcting someone, my good man. According to Sherman Morrison, we ought to use this to our advantage. We shall see ignorance as a sin, just like cheating. Unforgivable. Trouble busters initiate.
So, Mr. Morrison, have you thought of a way to save me?
Why does darling Morrison have to frickin' think of a way to save you, his opponent? He's my lawyer. This is our chance. $30,000 in alimony from you.
Wait a second, isn't that the same as yesterday?
Instead of that, I will ask that Thomas pays a fair division of dependent assets.
Division of dependent assets?
Yes, division of dependent assets refers to an act done to ensure that one spouse does not fall into financial difficulty after the divorce until the struggling spouse becomes more independent and can make a certain income. It's essentially a financial support service from one divorced spouse to the other, ensured by the law. Married couples live according to their respective roles in the relationship, do they not? What was your role within the home?
Thomas was a full-time jack of all trades, and I was a full-time housewife.
That means the only income for the couple is the salary Thomas receives from his company. You, Miss Lisa, have no income, but you took care of the housework and contributed to the marriage and the home.
Yes, that's right. I was working hard too.
I don't doubt it. In this case, neither the husband nor the wife is superior here, and they cooperated in a fair and equal relationship. All this saying that it'll be unfair that the wife, who is a full-time housewife, ends up in financial difficulty as soon as the divorce occurs? Yes. In order to prevent such a situation, division of dependent assets is permitted.
What the? You surprised me, Mr. Morrison. I knew you were an amazing lawyer if you tried hard and stuck to being neutral. That's good. Oh, this is very good.
So Thomas here will have money coming in, but he will have money going out. I want you to keep that in mind. Sure.
I was wrong. Cheating on you may have been my fault, but you, Thomas, who drove me to do such a thing, are also at fault. I just couldn't accept that you were the only one walking away from this unscathed.
As for you, mister, please pay her $500 a month.
What? $500?
The deadline to repay it all can be as long as 5 years, so please, pay it off.
What the? You are so good.
Are you satisfied, Mr. Thomas? Hell no, I'm not. No matter how you look at it, that's a bit too much, I think. But I'm just doing my job. Women deserve alimony. That's all I think, you see. Shit, 2 against 1?
You were only moving in favor of Thomas yesterday. This is fair judgment here. This lawyer is very good indeed.
Anyway, the alimony amounts to $30,000 for a lump sum, and Miss Lisa shall demand the division of dependent assets. Is that satisfactory? So you're anticipating that a lump sum would be easier to get for paying the division of dependent assets. I see.
Oh, so that's how you can make him look more pitiful.
I get it. You win. I lost. Morrison, you're a good lawyer for real. I think I could prevent future clashes with an additional solution. What? 30 grand in a lump sum is too much alimony, I believe. Let's reduce it to 25 grand.
Uh-huh.
What in the... This is more convenient for her, considering her occupation. Don't underestimate me, eh? I won't accept a reduction. I will not accept it. I'm not saying it's unconditional, good sir.
Huh?
In exchange for the $5,000 reduction in alimony, I would like you to admit to committing adultery with an unspecified partner, allegedly known as Mr. Adam Cameron.
No, it's already been proven, so I shouldn't have to do that. It's troublesome.
The important thing in my job is to draw a line and be fair in my judgment. Mr. Thomas, how's that as a solution? Huh? How about it? I understand a recording of Lisa confessing that she cheated and a signature of a form admitting to committing the deed. I will allow the reduction if these can be provided. Oh, I won't let the harsh reality escape you, sir. There are the photos. These photos that show Miss Lisa and Mr. Adam having some kind of close relationship. I'll have her hand those over as well. No way! Why? The audio and the train are enough, aren't they? That's too easy for you, sir. I'm not going to let it escape.
That's right. Don't run away from the harsh reality, Thomas. That's what you get. You lost to another man.
You've been siding with my ex-wife all this time. Kinda strange despite being neutral. Now then, please record your confession, sign the form of confession, and send me the photos of you and Adam at the hotel.
Coming right up. The hotel photos are embarrassing, but since you're doing your best, Mr. Morrison, it's fine.
Thank you very much. Then, Lisa recorded her confession to adultery and showed the photos of her affair. All that's left is for her to sign the form.
The alimony is reduced to $25,000, and I get $500 a month for 5 years for a total of $30,000. I am doing frickin' bad things and making a profit. Is this all okay now?
Perfect. Now I can get things done a lot more smoothly.
That's good.
Lisa was in a good mood the whole time and even hummed a tune. You foolish peasant, you don't even know that this is a trap we'd set up, you see? Well, leave the details out and wait for the consequences, I guess.
Damn, if I do this several more times, I could build a house. I could have a mansion of adulterous love.
Yes, you act like you're at ease now, dirty whore. I don't know how she managed to get the money, but the next day I confirmed a lump sum repayment of $25,000 from Lisa.
What the Nutter Butters? The money hasn't been transferred. If you're done with your business, there are people waiting. Shut up, bitch. It's the fault of you in line behind me. Yeah, can you tell everyone who's waiting in this long line that same thing?
Yes?
Hey, what's the big idea, Thomas?
Oh, that demeanor sounds like you've noticed that the useless division of dependent assets has stopped.
Of course it has. What the frick, Thomas?
Yahoo! Crash landing! Yes, hello, Sherman Morrison speaking.
Frick you, Four Eyes! How are you going to explain that you guys' division of dependent whatchamacallit hasn't been transferred?
Wait, did you do the procedure?
You did it, didn't you?
My, such strange things you say.
What's so strange about it?
Why should I, Thomas's representative, do something that will benefit you and cause great loss to my client?
A lawyer is neutral, right?
No, ma'am.
Don't talk nonsense. I'll file a complaint.
File a complaint? Where to, if I may?
Court, I'm suing you. Suing you.
Your brain reeks of stupidity. It's hilarious.
How dare you?
A lawyer is not employed by the court by any means, ma'am. So even if you do file a complaint, there's nothing they can do. Intuitively speaking, it's the same disease as those people who rush to the mobile phone shop when there's a worldwide communication outage. What are you gonna do, get angry at the people not involved? Stupid argument.
I'll give you another order then. Morrison, arrange for me to receive that division of dependent whatever money, all right?
Oh no, that's not possible. Please ask another lawyer to do that, not me. I'm repeating myself here, but I'm Thomas's representative, you see. Well, even if you do request a division of dependent assets, there's a high chance it'll be dismissed.
Huh? What does dismissed mean?
Is dismissed a word you don't understand? Well, to put it simply, it means it'll be impossible.
Why? But I am a frail housewife, you know, even you. An act done to ensure that one spouse does not fall into financial difficulty after the divorce until the struggling spouse becomes more independent and can make a certain income. That's what you said, right?
So I did. However, Thomas's situation has changed in the past month, you see.
What does that have to do with anything? Frick you.
It does have something to do with this, ma'am. I was so shocked by your betrayal that I hated doing everything. I quit my job and became unemployed and without income, you see.
What? Unemployed?
The division of dependent assets is recognized to take into account the economic situation of the divorced couple and to ensure the livelihood of the one who is financially struggling at the moment of divorce. However, if the spouse who had the higher income becomes unemployed after the divorce, it will be deemed cruel to force them to pay any dependent assets unnecessarily, and the request itself will not be accepted.
But you have the $25,000 in compensation that I gave you.
That's exactly what Thomas intends to use to support his current livelihood until he gets back on his knees. He has no other money to give to you, ma'am.
It's too late to tell me that now. I trusted what you said.
Frankly speaking, I do not care. In fact, I don't need your trust whatsoever, Miss Lisa.
You were handling things for me. What with that division of dependable bullshit against Thomas, weren't you?
That was not for your sake, but for my loyal clients. It was better for me that way, see?
So the reason you reduced the amount from $30,000 to $25,000 was so that I could pay it all in one lump sum?
I'll leave that to your imagination.
Oh, I see. Well then, if you say that much, then I'll hire a lawyer too.
You'll hire a lawyer, you say? I don't think you have that kind of money, and you probably owe someone $25,000 anyway, right?
Yes, that's why I'm in so much trouble if there's no dependable assets.
But I can't pay it as an unemployed motherfricker.
I'll make you pay it, I will.
Again, what about paying your lawyer?
I can just borrow money again, easy peasy.
No, you'll lose in the battle and your debt will only increase, you know.
Shut up, I can't just stay quiet after being mocked to this extent.
Stubbornness of the peasant, literally. Miserable woman.
I can't forgive a guy like you for laughing at me and making fun of me. Just you wait. I'll find a lawyer right away and I'll frickin' show you how not to mess with Lisa Sanderson.
At this rate, she'll only go deeper into debt without ever finding a lawyer to take her case. A lawyer who takes on a client like this with such ridiculous arguments is someone who takes on such delusional bastards. I can only think of one person who would. My goodness, you're as beautiful as ever. I'll sue you for being too beautiful, ma'am.
Cheesy bastard. I've heard the story and your circumstances with my client. If she really desires it, I can file for court mediation. How do you propose we proceed?
What? Court mediation? Miss Sharon, I must tell you that it will probably end in vain.
How will anyone know unless we go along with it?
I agree, Miss Sharon. So, can we actually win?
I can't promise that.
So there's no point in mediation?
But if you don't file for court mediation, the probability of receiving the division of dependent assets is 0%, miss.
I suppose that's true.
The final decision is up to you, Miss Lisa. Once you've made up your mind, please let me know. I'm on your side, just remember that.
Yes, ma'am.
After that, Miss Sharon used all her words to skillfully guide Lisa to start the court mediation process. It's only a matter of time before I'm summoned to court. Mr. Morrison is reliable, but Miss Sharon is freaking intimidating.
Your words gave me courage, ma'am. I'm going to take this to court.
If my client decides to do so, I'll help you. Let's do our best.
Yes, ma'am.
Thus, Lisa, who can't think or decide anything on her own, decided to start a court case. But, yay! Huge victory to me, Thomas! Silence in the courthouse!
We lost. So it's impossible to demand division of dependent assets from the other party if their economic situation is dangerous, huh?
Hey now, wait a frickin' minute, you traitor! That's not what we agreed on, is it? My demands are not going to be met in the end?
Yeah, because you had an overwhelming disadvantage.
Isn't it what lawyers do to win in that situation?
A lawyer is not a magician, ma'am.
Right. A miraculous comeback victory like this is not realistic. It just doesn't happen often at all. Especially not to a young lady like you who is blinded by delusions of victory and grandeur.
What?
I'll reveal the secret now. But if the division of dependent assets is determined in the form of a contract between the former spouses, there are cases where the contents of the contract cannot be changed later on. The interpretation may change depending on the specific circumstances and the state of the court's review, but...
In any case, you should have included wording that allowed for the division of dependent assets as a dependent while your ex-husband was still employed.
But that's what Mr. Morrison here said he did.
Not checking is ridiculous. Not looking into the info is also ridiculous.
Nowadays, the internet has detailed information about that sort of thing, and you can look it up easily with a clickety-clack and a ka-ching.
You're fighting for your own ordeals, right? Why didn't you look into it yourself? Why do you have to be so la-di-da and irresponsible when you have your rights? Who can protect you? Ultimately, you're the only one who can.
What the frick? You made me pay a lot of money, and then you act all high and mighty?
I went to mediation knowing full well it was a lost cause. You appreciated that and you paid me the money, eh?
I'm paying $5,000, damn you!
$5,000? Now that is expensive. Mediation fees are usually around $2,000 to $3,000. Asking for twice that amount?
Who cares about the usual price? I wanted $60 and I charged her $60. End of story. I did everything in my power to help. There's no reason for you to complain, Lisa.
You frickin' bitch! People like you, frickin' money grubbers, are the worst!
Because I love money, I take it when I can. I'm not doing anything wrong.
What should I do from now on then?
I guess you have no choice but to pay back your debts now. $250 to Thomas plus $60 for a total of $31,000. Good luck with paying back your debts. I knew the money for Miss Sharon was also a loan. Putting in $6,000 and losing big time is just like a bug that gets zapped in those fluorescent light electric bug killers.
Hey, Thomas!
Eh?
Let's start over.
Aw, hell no. Do your sleep talking in dreamland, would ya?
Please, I'll just change my selfish desires.
Stubborn hard filth will turn into soft filth is all. It's probably a change that will turn a goblin into an orc. In the end, you're being charged more than $30,000.
Enough acting like a la-di-da princess, please. If I don't pay back my debt of $31,000, I'll end up in the world after dark, if you know what I mean. I'm a woman you once loved. You're okay with that?
I think so, yeah. You like men so much that you'd cheat on me, so it's fine, I think. You told me shit like you're so useless and I wish we'd never gotten married. You destroyed me, didn't you? We even had separate bedrooms in the house, and you took advantage of that environment. I was wondering whether to sue you or not. I didn't have solid evidence, but you were more naive than I expected and saved me a whole bunch of trouble. The only evidence was those DMs, after all. If you'd just said you were joking about the messages, we'd have had a really hard time in the end. Sorry, Coach, I didn't have the money to hire a detective.
Wait, what? So, if I just ignored the emails as something as a joke...
Thomas might not have been able to get alimony from you. Honestly, without your lawyers are supposed to be neutral remark of stupidity, we wouldn't have been able to get alimony at all. I'm just glad you're such a clueless person.
That's cruel. Why didn't you correct me?
I would never say anything that would put my client at a disadvantage.
I screwed up because I didn't inform myself.
Ignorance can be a sin indeed, and while it was bumpy, this story came to a satisfying conclusion. Lisa, who owes $31,000 to A&A Finances, the only institution who was willing to lend money to her, is now working 2 jobs to pay off her debts. But... we run on 10 a day, so in order to avoid the interest increasing by another $3,000 in 10 days, you'll need to make more than $9,000 a month. I'll tell you, it's better for you not to think about running away, all right, princess? She can't keep her current job for very long, so what will she do after that? I've no clue. But that ain't for me to think about. Nope. After all was settled with the bitch, we next accused the bastard. He was confident that there was no evidence, and so he pleaded innocence, but... Draw! Flirting in a hotel room. This is conclusive physical evidence that proves Adam and Lisa's affair, and you, as the representative of the adultery, must and will pay my client $30,000 in alimony. We have my ex-wife's confession recording and a form, both of which support the facts. You have no chance of winning. No way! The bastard paid $30,000, and when his workplace found out about his sins, he quit his job voluntarily. And his wife also found out, and they got divorced. After that, his wife demanded $15,000 in alimony from Lisa, and as a last resort, Lisa left the country. It was decided that he would pay $600 a month in child support for 13 years. This guy is also working full-time through pain and tears to pay off all his debts. Meanwhile, I've done everything I could to get the alimony, as instructed by my lawyer, and I upgraded my jack-of-all-trades business. My original plan was to make a false statement of unemployment to veer away from paying any assets, and to do my best to get back on track. Knowledge protects, trouble busters.